Okay, so today I'm going to show you one of my very favorite things, which is Duarte's cream of artichoke. Let me say that again. Duarte's cream of artichoke soup. Okay, it's a mouthful. It's really good. Duarte's is this restaurant down in Pescadero, and they're known for this soup. They published the recipe. They also have great seafood and other things. I highly recommend checking them out in that little one-horse town or one-fish town or whatever it is. Okay, so this soup is, the recipe is very simple. Artichoke hearts, chicken broth, onion, salt and pepper, some lemon to garnish it. That's really it, and heavy cream too. So that's the whole recipe in a nutshell. I'm going to put it all together. I've adapted it for the pressure cooker, so they recommend 45 minutes of simmering it to cook it down. I'm going to try instead, this is the first time I've tried this, I'm going to go with 30 minutes in the pressure cooker, and then maybe like another 30 minutes on slow cook, on high, to let it reduce a little bit. So let's see how this goes. For starters, there's no olive oil in this recipe. Oddly, it's butter, which gives it an extra richness. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that with hit the Instant Pot with butter and some onion. So let's go on the saute mode. Okay, Instant Pot set to saute on high. I'm going to put in 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter, quite a bit. It's kind of a main ingredient. Now I'm going to cut up this extra large onion. We're going to end up pureeing the soup, so it doesn't really matter what shape you cut the onion into. Okay, so our butter is starting to melt in there. And we'll throw our onions in and get those going. We'll do artichokes next. It's important to use artichokes that have been packaged in water, not inside of any kind of a marinade, not like an olive oil, vinegar, spiced with oregano, whatever, that kind of marinade you want to avoid, because you don't want those flavors in this dish. The recipe also calls for a few cloves of garlic. Okay, so I've cut up 3 or 4 cloves of garlic here, and I'm going to slice them. Again, the shape doesn't matter that much, just sort of some rough slices. And I'm going to put these aside for now. I'll put the garlic in. Of course, the recipe has you putting the garlic in at the beginning with the onions, but I'm going to wait until I think it's a better time for that. When I have a little insight into when I'm going to finish with the sautéing, because I only want to give the garlic maybe like 30 seconds to a minute, maybe 2 minutes max, depending on the size of the cut. But I don't want to overcook that garlic, as you know, because this, just like with tomato sauce, you can easily spoil this if you overcook the garlic. So we'll add that later. And for now, let's talk about the chicken. So normally I'd want to do a bone-in chicken breast for this. I find that the bone-in chicken breast has the right balance of fat, and the bones are good for the stock. They make a more tasty, a richer stock. Unfortunately, I don't have any bone-in breast. I have a boneless chicken breast, so I'll use that instead. Just going to toss that in whole, and later we'll take it out and use it for something else. We can make it into chicken salad or what have you. Okay, I have these lovely Cento organic artichoke hearts. They look great. I'm going to use those. I'm not sure what to do about the water in here. It's effectively artichoke water. I'm going to set that aside. It's water and salt, probably. Yeah, salt, water, citric acid. I'm going to set that aside in case I want to add it to the soup later. We'll see about that. Might be a good way to salt it and also add some flavors, more artichoke flavor. So I'm going to just strain these into a strainer here, and then you can see what they look like. That's the artichoke hearts that come out. And again, no seasoning on these, just salt and water. That's it. And the citric acid is just a little preservative. So dump those in there, the other 4. And in addition to those, I'm going to add a little bit of fresh artichoke here. This is artichoke, I think there's like 3 of them. And I cut off the hearts and I peeled off whatever usable meat there was on that. So I'm going to throw that in too for some extra flavor. And that'll be nice. It'll bulk up the soup even more. So I've almost filled this Instant Pot here. And you have to keep it under the 2/3 level for pressure cooking, so make sure to be aware of that. At this point, the temperature in here is quite low because I've just thrown so much in there. So it's not really going to cook the garlic. So I think what I'll do is saute the garlic separately and then dump that in. Just put in some olive oil real quick and then pop it in, and we'll start the pressure cooking. That way we don't have to wait for this to warm back up and enough to cook the garlic. We should also hit it with some salt. We're going to want to taste this too later because the artichoke hearts were salted. The butter I use is also salted, so we should be a little careful with the salt. We can always add more later, but it's very hard to take salt out. I'll also add some fresh ground pepper, and then we're getting ready to pressure cook. So let me just quickly saute up this garlic in a little pan. So I'm just heating some olive oil here in the pan. I'm going to put the garlic in. In a moment to saute that, add it to my soup mixture, which consists of onions, chicken, artichoke hearts, what else? Salt and pepper, and garlic, which is about to go in. That's the whole recipe, really, except for the cream. So the next step, after I put the garlic in, we're going to pressure cook for 30 minutes, and then we'll allow it to cook on slow cook for another 30 minutes to let it reduce. And then we'll add the cream at the end. Right, actually, the cream goes in between pressure cooking and slow cooking. So we'll go pressure cook, blend, add the cream, and then slow cook for a bit. And that's it. Okay, garlic. So I'm just going to saute this garlic and let it release some of its natural flavors without burning it. And I'm doing that in just a little bit of olive oil here, as you can see. It smells really good. And it's on high heat. I'm going to turn the heat off. It's getting hotter. The cast iron will retain enough heat to finish the job here. That looks pretty good. Put this into the soup to add our garlic flavor. And of course, it'll be fine to pressure cook that. Just have to get that initial cooking in with the garlic to release the flavors first. And that's okay. You can pressure cook it for hours; it'll be fine. But first, you got to get that sautéing that first. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add the artichoke water. I decided I like the flavor profile and the salt in there too, so I'm going to add that. I'll also add some more water. I'm not really measuring, but I'm going to get it up to about the 2/3 level of the pressure cooker. You don't want to exceed that. That is the pressure cooker max. There's a little line in there to tell you what that is. Okay, so I'm under the max. I have a great smelling soup here. But as you can see, it's all chunky. I have big artichoke heart chunks, and I have big 2 chicken breasts in there, 1 breast split down the middle, big onion chunks. So we're going to let that pressure cook now for 30 minutes on high. And then we'll come back around and we'll puree it in the Vitamix. All right, so we'll see you then. Okay, I'm back. It's been a half an hour and about 40 minutes really. The pressure cooker warmed up and then went through its cycle of a 30-minute pressure cook on high. I'm going to give it a little bit to depressurize because there's whole pieces of chicken in there. And as I mentioned on other videos, the bubbles of air bubbles can form inside the chicken, and as you're taking the chicken out of the soup, it'll just like burst into pieces. So I'm going to just let that depressurize for a few minutes on its own, and then we'll hit the depressurized release valve and let it finish. In the meantime, I thought what I would do, since that chicken in there doesn't belong in the soup, before I puree the soup, I'm going to take the chicken out, and then it should be fork splittable. So I'll fork split it and make it into a little chicken salad. I was going to use some celery, red onion, tarragon, salt, maybe some hazelnuts, some crushed up hazelnuts. I might also use raisins. I couldn't find any raisins, but that's a good thing to put in there. I put raisins before I put grapes. Are good in tomato salad, or in a chicken salad too. Maybe, how about some grape tomatoes? There we go. So grape tomatoes, celery, red onion, quick chicken salad. So we'll chop all that up. We'll combine that with the chicken, and then I was thinking about just like melting some cheese over the chicken salad over some bread, and then serving that alongside the soup. So we'll be going on the chopping, and then when I'm done chopping, I'll depressurize this, and we'll move on. Okay. So for these hazelnuts, I'm just going to crush them up. I don't want them to get everywhere, so this is just a nut milk bag I have laying around. We'll just crush those. I don't really want to do that with this knife, so I'll switch to a meat tenderizer. I'm not going for like a pulp or anything. I just want to make some smaller pieces. That's about right. If you look at that, just some little pieces that'll give you a nice crunch in the salad, a nice little surprise, because everything's kind of the same texture except the celery and the nuts. Yeah, raisins are really good too. I wish I had some of those. Currants also work. And then we can always decide too if we want to make this a curry chicken salad. That's also delicious. And that's just basically all the same, except instead of I just add curry powder at the end. That's the magic of making a curry. Add curry powder. Okay, we've reached a point where it's time to depressurize. Pressure cooker, going in the window. I wish you could smell this artichoke chicken butter onion concoction here. It's absolutely delicious. So for a chicken salad we have going here, we have tomatoes, red onion, celery, hazelnuts, and I thought I'd put in some tarragon. Put a dash of onion salt in here from Trader Joe's. Some Worcestershire. It also needs to go in the soup too. I forgot to put that in. It didn't call for it, but you know, nothing. I can't make any savory dishes that don't have Worcestershire in them. Some black pepper. And I've taken out something here that might surprise you: sour cream. So I was going to use. You can use mayo for this as a base, or full-fat yogurt, or sour cream. I have non-fat yogurt, unfortunately, so I didn't want to do that. I want something with more fat. And you won't even know that it's sour cream once it gets integrated in there. Okay, I've also taken out some bread. This is the Acme olive loaf. I'm going to go ahead and toast this bread, and then we're going to put it right back in this toaster, but in the oven format. We'll lay it flat with turkey or chicken salad on top, and then cheese melts on top of that. So this toaster oven will help broil the cheese. And I love this stupid oven. It's ridiculous. It holds almost nothing. But it's great because on hot days, especially up here on the 3rd floor of this apartment complex, on hot days it gets super warm up here, so I don't want to heat the whole oven up just to do a small job. And this thing can really take care of that for you. All right, there's our soup. It's time for the pureeing, but first we'll take the chicken out. I once pureed chicken into a soup, and it was a really bad idea. It seemed like a good idea. Then the whole idea of like eating pulverized chicken was just like, no, you don't really want to do that unless you're like, I don't know, let's say your jaw is wired shut from a surgery or something. But you definitely don't want to eat that. It's disgusting. So yeah, we're taking our chicken out, and if we're not careful, it won't come out in one piece. So I got one part out. Here comes the other. Here it is. I don't want to pulverize the chicken. I just want to keep those pieces out of the soup for the artichoke, or for the little melts we're doing. We're doing chicken salad melts on the side, right? So I'm gonna get all the chicken out of here. I think I got it all. Let's just make extra sure because I have a little bit of PTSD here from the time that I did pulverize chicken into, it was a tomato soup actually. I pulverized chicken into a tomato soup. Really bad idea, don't do that. Okay, so we are chicken free. It smells amazing. I'm going to separate the chicken here, which is very hot, from the artichoke because I want just the straight chicken to go into my chicken salad, and we'll put the artichoke back in the soup. Okay, so chicken on this side, artichoke on this side, this is all going back. Alright, let's set the slow cooker function. We'll turn that on next. And we want to slow cook on high for whatever, a long time. We'll just set a timer for like, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Okay, now it's time to pour the soup carefully, because it's very hot, into a blender. Vitamix is the best way to go with that, because with a regular blender you probably have a lot of trouble blending soup. But this is meant for stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to do this in like 2 batches. Here we go. Got move the circuit. Yep, I sure did. Fuck. It was this time. It was the toaster, the blender, and the crock pot, and the AC. And the AC. Yeah. Okay, so we've pureed the soup and put it back in the Instapot. I have it now slow cooking on high. I'm gonna keep stirring it just to make sure it doesn't burn at the bottom. And I'm going to also add the final ingredient, which is heavy cream. I don't have any heavy cream, so I'm going to go with milk. And I put a nice helping of butter in there, so I think it'll probably make up for the fact that it's not heavy cream. Also, this is whole milk, which has, I believe, 4% milk fat, so we'll put in, like, I don't know, a generous cup of that. I'm also using it to clean out my Vitamix here. I get the rest of the artichoke bits out there, pour that in. And now we're going to just let that reduce. I think a good 20 to 30 minutes should be enough, and we'll keep stirring it just to make sure it doesn't burn. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to make this chicken salad for the mouth. So we've already done quite a bit of the prep work here. We have sour cream, tomatoes, tarragon, red onions, celery, and some hazelnuts, and some bread here that I just toasted up. I'm going to take this chicken, and it's like fork splittable, so like just using the back of the knife, I can kind of just split it up. This is after just a half an hour in the pressure cooker, so look at that. It's just like pulled chicken. I can just dump all that right into my chicken salad. Try not to put any of the artichokes or anything there. I don't want those extra flavors. Some of it obviously will get into the chicken salad, but hopefully it'll be overpowered by the other flavors. Okay, so to wrap this up, we'll just stir in all the ingredients. Just gonna hit this soup with Worcestershire. It's already got so much umami in it, but I think it won't hurt to do that. I'm not even sure where the umami comes from. It could be the artichoke, I don't know. But this is just such a, the soup really hits your palate in so many different ways. It's really delicious. Yeah, if you get a chance to go down to Pescadero, I would highly recommend to stop at Duarte's. And if you're sheltering in place, like me, or whatever we're doing, staying at home, then you can have it too. By following that recipe, and with the Instapot, it could be maybe an hour and a half. Soup to nuts, pretty good. Let's test this salad, see if it needs anything. This chicken salad. Give it a little more salt. And some pepper, but otherwise, I think it's great. Also a touch of spice, one crushed of pepper. Okay, now we'll line these up. This little baking tray here. We'll set my toaster oven to 400. My daughter calls this my easy bake oven. It's not quite that bad. It is kind of a joke. But it's the only thing that would fit in this tiny little counter space that I had. And like I said, it's a great way to just do a quick cooking job without heating up the whole house. Okay, so here are our bottom slices of bread. I'll top these with my chicken salad. We'll just form these into individual units, just like doing a open-faced tuna melt, or chicken salad melt, or turkey salad melt. Same idea here. I don't want to make them too tall, or else they won't fit in my easy bake oven. So I have a little bit of turkey salad here left over. Chicken salad, that's okay. I keep saying turkey salad because the last time I did this, I did it with this amazing Dietzel turkey breast that I got from Produce, and it's so delicious. Okay, there's our not too tall chicken salad melts. Unfortunately, I got a little bit of chicken salad left. I might just eat that as an appetizer. And the final step here is to top this with grated or thinly sliced cheese, and then put it in the toaster oven or the broiler for a quick couple of minutes just to melt that cheese. Okay, we'll quickly hit these with some fresh ground black pepper. And then I hope they're not too tall for my easy bake. It might be. Oh, it's a little dicey. Gotta push these down a little more. Fit an easy bake. There we go. Tight squeeze, but they'll make it. Oh, get in there, guys. Yeah, okay, that's going to be a bit of a smoky mess, but we'll see how that goes. So give it a couple minutes to melt the cheese, and then we'll just, as this soup reduces a little bit, we'll be ready to serve that. A couple lemon slices, thinly sliced lemon wedges on top of the soup would be great. And that's it. I'm ready to eat. Okay, those chicken melts are almost done there. I can see them kind of, the cheese starting to brown up. I'm going to go ahead and serve some soup. Look at that, very nice. Yeah, there's your artichoke soup. And then a couple quick lemon wedges for that. Or just thin lemon slices, maybe something like this. Incredible Meissen knife, I can make some really thin slice lemon, do something like that. Yeah. There you go, Duarte's artichoke soup. Now let's get our tuna melts out too. There they go, looking nice. I said tuna melt, that's funny. I said tuna melt, turkey melt, whatever it is. It's a chicken melt, but you know what? It's all the same. So there you go, chicken melts. And Duarte's artichoke soup. That's tonight's dinner here over at Kitchen Mia. Buon pranzo.